You're listening to Entrepreneur's Enigma, a podcast about the ups and downs of the entrepreneurial journey. Every week, your host Seth Goldstein interviews entrepreneurs from all walks of life about their entrepreneurial journeys. From store owners to Fortune 500 CEOs, we all have stories to tell. So sit back and join us for the next 20 or so minutes while we explore the entrepreneurial world.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneur's Enigma podcast. I'm, as always, your host, Seth, with Podcast Mastery and Goldstein Media. Today I have a good buddy of mine, Dr. Fredric Abramson, who is the CEO of Golden Thread Technologies, where he's trying to use DNA analysis to lower athletic injury risks. Not only is Fredric doing that, this guy has more advanced degrees than I can rattle off. Actually, let me just try. You should see the letters after his name. He's got a ph.d. in where's that list? He's got a ph.d. in human genetics and population planning from the University of Michigan, a master's of science and management from MIT. So this guy is no slouch here. He's got a BA in mathematical biology. Jeez Louise, from the University of Pennsylvania. I mean, come on now. Why not? An MS in biology from the University of Rochester. And to top it off, he's also a lawyer with a JD from the American University in DC. So, and he is a dad and a husband, and he keeps busy, to say the least. Oh, he's also an adjunct professor over Johns Hopkins since 1996. So yeah. he keeps busy. That's how he keeps young. Right, buddy?
Yeah, there's a YouTube video about me called Every Jewish Mother's Dream.
Oh, I know. Seriously.
Seriously.
Overachiever. My God. So Golden Thread Technologies.
Yes.
Technology is trying to lower the athletic injury risks.
Right.
And using AI machine learning, because why not? We're in the age of AI. Fill us in. And just fill us in about your journey. How did you end up getting, 5 advanced degrees? Plus, you also graduated high school. So add that one in there too. So.
Yeah. Well, but the part of the story, and I share my story because I am ADHD, Seth.
Oh, go figure.
And I think that my story could help those dealing with ADHD, because when I was in high school, they threw me out of the academic curriculum and put me in commercial and told me I never go to college.
Well, they were kind of wrong.
Well, that was in a Philadelphia high school, and what was amazing about it, and how the sometimes the world works in a weird way. I was taking commercial, and I learned typing, bookkeeping, and clerical practice in the 50s.
That's not bad to know how to do that.
Yeah, boys never took typing in the 50s. That was for girls.
So you can actually know how to type.
Yeah, I know how to type. Yeah. And what's interesting about that is, so my journey, I end up at the University of Michigan, and a professor came up to me one day and said, "I understand you know how to type." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Come with me. I'm going to teach you computer programming."
Oh, why not?
And
why not at that point, right? Like learned, Einstein, talk about brilliance. Einstein was ADHD. He failed math.
He did. That's true.
So, and look what he went and did.
Well, this is why I think that people who are dealing with kids that are having problems don't have to write it off as this is the future. It just could be a transition to the next phase. And the next phase
kids are elastic too. And kids are elastic too, a lot more than us old people.
Right.
Now, but also back in the 50s, they didn't know what the heck ADHD was. Back in the 80s, when I was diagnosed with ADHD, they barely knew what it was. Right. I am the single-handed reason why my mom became a school psychologist.
Really?
It was because she learned from me that she could help other kids. So she's already had the PhD, and she went to the University of Michigan. She got a history degree from the University of Michigan, and then she got her PhD from Rutgers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive too.
Yeah. Fun times. Sorry, so you weren't the best student in high school.
No.
But then you went. But then where did you?
I went to
then
the
you
University of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so you weren't a good student, that good of a student, but you somehow went to Penn.
Yeah, and I was a terrible student at Penn too.
Oh, go figure.
My undergraduate GPA is 1.65 out of 4.
Woof. Oh, wow. You had to work hard for that one, buddy.
Yeah, well, I have a lot of F's on my transcript.
I love it. But then look what he did. Look what you did after that. You kind of, I guess you did a lot of growing up at Penn.
I think I did growing up, but I think the more critical part of the story, which again, I share with other people.
Yeah.
There were people around me who saw in me the potential that I didn't see for myself.
And there was potential.
Yeah. And so they encouraged me to move to that next step. And so when I graduated from Penn, with my incredibly high GPA, I applied to 4 graduate schools. Okay. Penn State, Maryland, Rochester, and Stanford. Rochester and Stanford took me. Penn State and Maryland turned me down. Interesting.
Wait. Let's recap that. Stanford took you.
And Rochester took me.
And Rochester took you.
Right.
But Penn State and Maryland didn't.
Right. And what happened was...
They're all great schools. I'm not trying to knock any of the schools. They're all great schools. But I'm saying Stanford, for crying out loud.
But see, I had faculty at Penn who saw things in me.
Who liked you, yeah.
That where they wrote the letters of recommendation that said, don't forget what he did. Here's someone you want to pick. And
yeah.
So, and that's I think the way the world works. Sometimes that connectivity,
it's about who you know. Absolutely. And so then you went to Rochester,
right?
Which is a great school, but I mean it's not Ivy League or anything like that. But it's a great school,
right?
And then you end up in MIT because why? At that point, why the hell not?
Well, MIT came after Michigan.
Oh, after Michigan. Well, it's still Michigan. Woo!
Yeah. So after I got my PhD, I ended up teaching at the University of Kentucky College of Medicine.
Oh, wow.
And I was running the Research Design Biostatistics Laboratory. And people would be asking me to make the data say this. And I said, well, the data will say whatever it says. Hang on a second.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. And so, after a few years, the chairman came to me and said, you've gotten a lot of people upset because so we're not renewing your contract.
Oh, no. So, well, you're now what? Let me go to MIT and get more degrees.
Well, but here's the thing that happened. Again, the cosmos is organized in this funny way.
Yes.
A month after that happened, a medical student walked into my office and said, I've been watching you. You need to be at MIT. And he picks up my phone, calls the chairman of the Sloan Fellows program and says, Peter, this is Arnold. I got a guy who needs to be a Sloan Fellow. Hands me the phone. The next thing I know, I'm up in Boston.
Oh, wow. That's wild, man. That's wild. That's incredible.
So, but that's the way I think things work.
It's not a straight line. It's a windy road, and it's how our brains work. And why not have your academic career happen that same way? So, yeah.
So, but part of what I learned, and I'll share this with the audience, when somebody asked me to do something, I only asked myself one question.
What's that?
Why not?
I love it, man.
And if I can't answer it, I will say yes, because going into something you don't know can lead to something really amazing. But if you know why you shouldn't, well, shit, that provides clarity.
It does. It does. I love it, man. I love it. So, and then you went to, and now you're teaching. Now, are you still teaching at the American University?
I started teaching at American U. Yes.
Are you still there?
No. I taught there for a few years, and then that's where I went to law school.
Oh, we forgot about law school. After all this, we forgot about law school.
Right. And became a lawyer. And
And you actually practiced. You're not one of these lawyers that is like, I got the law degree to learn about the law to apply to other things, which is not, I'm not knocking that. You actually were crazy enough to pass the bar.
I passed the bar.
Which is not easy for a neurotypical person.
It isn't easy, but I passed it. And I also was admitted to practice in the U.S. District Court, and I'm also admitted to the Supreme Court of the United States. I could argue.
Why not?
Why not? Exactly.
Why the hell not? Exactly. So this whole journey of entrepreneurship and all that really started when? Like, when did the entrepreneurship start?
I think when I was young, because I was in the rock and roll field, producing records and putting on rock and roll shows in Philly and New York. I knew Sam Cooke and Jerry Lee Lewis. I worked in retail at a place called Bargain City, which is like a Walmart, but this is long. And amazingly, and Seth, this is something that happened. I didn't realize what it meant until like 20 or 30 years later. I was working in retail at the age of 18.
Okay.
And one day the manager of the store comes up to me and said, I was in the record department. I was a clerk in the record department. And he said,
about right. You're a boomer. Makes sense. It's your rock and roll generation. Yeah.
Right. Your manager just quit. Take over the record department. So I'm now running the record department. I'm 18 years old. A couple of months later, the manager comes up to me and says, the manager of appliances just quit. Take that over too.
Two. Yeah.
I'm 18 years old and I'm managing two. I have buying, merchandising, hiring, and firing. I'm supervising people older than my parents.
And this is before all the education. This is all before all this education.
Yeah.
This is back when you're not doing well in high school.
Yeah, because the University of Pennsylvania told me to take a year off and grow up because I was such a bad
college told you to take a year and grow up. That's where you're supposed to grow up, is in college.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my God, wow.
But Seth, that's
and you grew up, clearly. It's like, here, take over the whole entire store pretty much.
It was an amazing thing to have happen. And I think 30 years later, I realized what he meant when he said, don't quit. You have a career in retail. It's like, I probably would have been a CEO at 35.
Exactly. But look what he did. We already did a lot of other things that was like kind of wild.
And that's the journey. I think that's an important message for people to realize, is that life isn't very linear.
It isn't linear, even for neurotypicals.
Right.
Especially for us, neurodivergents. Oh God.
Particularly.
Oof. There's no straight line in my journey. So, all right. So now let's go back to a little bit about what you're doing now. Right. Because why not? Retirement's for the feeble. You're not going to retire. You're not going to, one of those guys is like, it's going to be one day, it's going to be like, all right, I'm done. It's one of those, I always joke with my father, he's 77 and owns a microbiology company. And he's a PhD in microbiology. They both told me, don't go to PhD. I'm like, all right, I won't get a PhD. But I always joke with him that one day we're just gonna find him over the Piper things. He's holding it dead, and that's with a big stupid grin on his face, because he's gonna be dying doing what he loves.
Right.
And that's all that matters. Is you go out on your terms. And I'm not saying you're going to go out anytime soon. Please don't. I'm just saying, you're one of those guys that's never going to retire because it's too much fun to work. You do what you love.
The challenges, and particularly for me, it's solving problems.
Yeah.
And that's where the challenge is, to solve a problem that other people say is a challenge to solve. And, why would you want to stop doing that when you have some
Especially go play pickleball? Who wants to go play pickleball? We're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show.
Well, pickleball is one sport I've never tried, so I got to tell you.
Really? All right, go try pickleball.
Well, I might, but, I was
You're too busy. You're too busy.
Well, there's that, but I was a ball player when I was young.
Of course.
I had a tryout with the Pittsburgh Pirates as a pitcher.
Oh, wow. That's a hell of a resume, Fredric. Hell of a resume. So here's the question for you. What is the best thing about being an entrepreneur? Because you've done corporate. You've done like the retail thing, back when you were a kid. You've done corporate, which is academia is about as corporate as you can get. Whose butt do you kiss when? Academia is especially that way, corporate-y that way. What's the best thing about being an entrepreneur in your mind?
You get to pick your own path.
Which is good for us, yeah.
And you also have the freedom to make adjustments if you're able to see the need and what the adjustment is.
Absolutely. Exactly. So on the flip side, what keeps you up at night as an entrepreneur?
Thinking about the next things to do.
I love it. Yeah, it never ends. Never ends.
Yeah.
When you're an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur. It's always like, what other problem can I solve?
Yeah.
I love it, man. And then what's the most important thing to carry with you all the time, despite all those diplomas?
Well, I think the most important thing, I tend to be more optimistic than pessimistic.
That's good. Half full. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do understand and use a phrase that was in a film from 1960 called From Earth to Moon.
I've heard of that.
About a Jules Verne movie.
Okay.
And in the film, they were halfway to the moon, and some person asked the commander a question about what's going to happen when we get to the moon. And he said, you hope for the best and expect the worst. Then you could be disappointed in neither direction.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I thought that was a very good statement because it says don't think that hoping for the best is the only thing you do, and don't live in the negative that bad shit's going to happen. You got to say it could be good, it could be bad, but either way, I'll just accept it and take the next step.
I love it, my friend. So people can find you on Alignable in every smart connect known to mankind on Alignable. Fredric, that's where I met Fredric, because he's always in these networking events on alignable.com. But they can also find you online over at Google Golden Thread Technology.
But they also can find me on LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah, don't forget about LinkedIn. You're active there too.
Yeah, LinkedIn, you can see my entire background and laugh or not.
It keeps going. You scroll, the browser quits because it keeps going. It keeps going. Oh my God. Fredric, this has been so much fun. I'm glad we got to finally do it.
Thank you.
Awesome. And we'll see everyone next week.
Yes, I appreciate the time. Have a great week.
That was a great show. If you're enjoying Entrepreneur's Enigma, please consider giving us a review in the podcast directory of your choice. Every review helps us reach new listeners. If you like Entrepreneur's Enigma, consider the other shows on the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcast.net.